One of the great things I love about summer is being able to go to our local farmers market. And if you've been to yours recently, you know that watermelons are in season. And so today, come and join me in the studio and let's paint this nice juicy slice of watermelon together. Hello, fellow wanderers. We are going to make a slice of watermelon today. So the colors we're going to use are indigo, permanent red, sap green, and burnt umber. I made it dark on here so that you can take a screenshot if you'd like. Otherwise, if you just make a skinny triangle and some semicircles at the end and some little seeds, you should be just fine. And I did it this way, trying to fit it. So if I would want to frame it, I could fit it inside a 5x7 frame. I'm just working today on a piece of paper from my sketchbook. It's 140-pound cold pressed. And if you have that, you should be just fine. If you have 100% cotton, you will be even better. All right, so I'm going to pause and I will take off all of this lead and let's get started. All right, I am using a quill brush. This is a number 2 from Grabby. And then I just have a couple of round brushes, smaller sizes, 3. Both of them are 3. One is just a little bigger than the other because companies are not uniform in the sizes that they make. All right, so I'm getting my brush wet, and I'm going to start by just kind of painting around the seeds. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to have some highlight in the seed. Otherwise, I could just paint right over the top of it because the red or the brown of the seed will be darker than the red of the watermelon. But I do want to highlight. So I'm just going to get this wet. I got to work quickly because I'm not using 100% cotton paper. So it dries really fast. Just coming down here like this, down to this line. Get that wet again. And then quickly come back in and get a light wash of permanent red. And I'm just going to let that run down in. Just kind of letting the water paint once we can get down to it. And just let that run right around all those seeds. This is our first wash on our watermelon. And on this tutorial, I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Brian, who loves watermelon and was appalled to hear that there are people who don't prefer it. So this watermelon is for Brian. All right, come around your seeds. Let that run down. As long as you keep your paper wet, you can keep just pulling the color down. If it starts to dry a little bit, you can go back in really quickly with a wet brush and kind of moisten it again. Usually in watercolor, once the paper starts to dry, you need to back off from it and let it completely dry. So while this bottom part is still wet, I'm just dropping in a little bit more color. Okay, there we go. Now we are going to let that dry. And while it's drying, we're going to come down here. We're going to get some sap green. And this is pretty watered down. Tap off the end of your brush. I'm just using my quill brush for this. And I'm just going to do a really light layer right across here. Just like that. Now it's okay if they touch and if it runs in a little bit. That's not going to hurt anything. And I am going to go ahead and bring this all the way down. And remember, this is light. Make sure you've got enough water to knock down the value on your green. Our first layer needs to be really light. Okay, I am going to dry this with a blow dryer, and I will be right back. All right, we're going to do the same thing. This time we're just going to come in with the permanent red. We don't need to get our paper wet. I'm going to use a little smaller brush up here at the point, just so I can get my watermelon to come to a point here. All right, and I'm keeping it nice and wet. Keep getting your brush wet, get your pigment, and get it down on the paper so that this line here is still wet as you're pulling it down. So don't let it get dried out too much. Go back in and get your brush wet, get some paint, and keep coming down. And that will keep you from having a line. And just go around your seeds. Now that's getting a little bit dry, so let's get wet again here. There we go. And come on down. Good. Now I'm going to get my bigger brush really quickly. Get some paint on there. Get right back into this line. There we go. And around the seed. And bring your line down. All right. And just a little bit more in this layer. Now that was a little wet that I put in, which is going to cause a little bit of a back run. I didn't have enough pigment on my brush. My brush was more wet than with paint. Your brush needs to have more pigment on it than the paper is wet. So your brush shouldn't be, let me see if I can explain this better. Your brush should not be as wet as your paper when you're doing wet on wet. Okay, there is our next layer. Now we can come in and work on this, again with a smaller round brush and some more sap green. This time a little bit darker than this sap green. And we are just going to do a thick row here, leaving this part light of our sap green, and this is going to be our rind. There we go. All right. Let's let that dry. So I'm going to use the blow dryer and I'll be right back. Okay, that's dry. One thing that I do want to do, I don't want there to be such a definite line here. So with a damp brush, not dripping wet, but damp, I am just going to come along this edge and soften that line. And it pulls a little bit of this pigment out into the lighter green. Will help it to look a little more natural. There, that's much better. At least to my eye, that's better. Okay, while that's drying, let's go in and do our seeds. So we're going to do burnt umber first. So get some burnt umber. It does not need to be really, really dark. Kind of like this. Tap off the edge of your brush and then paint in your seed, but remember to leave a little space of white for our highlight. Do the same here. Leave a little bit of white for a highlight. And just do all your seeds this way. Our youngest grandbaby, Gideon, used to love the song Watermelon Sugar High. He would come to our house and order Alexa to play that song for him. All right. There we go. Now, while that is drying, we can go into that with some indigo. Now, if you don't have indigo, if you have Payne's Gray, you can do that. In fact, I'm wondering if what's on my palette might actually be Payne's Gray. But we're going to just darken up this burnt umber. So take your burnt umber and the Payne's Gray, and that just gives us a little darker outline here for our seed. And I'm just putting it around the edge, or even just on one side. Just adds a little bit of perspective, texture. Okay, there we go. And now we are going to make the little edge here, the rind. And for that, we need the indigo and some green. I'm going to mix that together till we get the right color. All right, so leave that in a pile. And then we're going to take our sap green, get a nice juicy pile of sap green. There's still some flow to it, but it's pretty dark. And you're just going to run your brush along the edge of your rind, just like this. Like that. Let's let that dry. In fact, I'm going to hit it with a blow dryer really quickly. Okay, while I was blow drying that, I noticed I have a little seed up here that's hiding that I did not see. So I'm just going to color him in like this, paint him in right there on the edge. Darken him up a little bit. There we go. All right, now for this part, you've got that puddle of indigo or Payne's Gray and sap green. It's just a darker color. So leave about 1/4 of an inch and then make about a 1/2 inch line. Leave about 1/4 of an inch or a 1/2 an inch and do it again. And the same all the way across. We're just making those lines that are on the rind. And we're almost finished with our juicy watermelon. There we go. So for Brian and for Gideon, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you'll give it a try. And for all of the other wanderers out there, I'm glad that you joined me. Come back and join me again soon, and let's wander together. And blessings to you.